Good morning. So I'm really excited about today's topic or today's limb of yoga. Just a quick recap. We have talked about the yamas and the niyamas, the first two limbs of the Eightfold Path. And they are more kind of guidelines for like inward and outward expression of yourself. So we've kind of, in those two limbs, you kind of started rooting through yourself, seeing what you really believe in, what really drives you, how to kind of show up in the world in this authentic version of yourself. And then we moved into the third step, which is asana, which is what we actually practice. The movement part of our yoga is asana. And asana translates to seat or foundation. So with what we do on the mat together, we are preparing our bodies, our physical bodies, to sit in meditation. And then we talked about pranayama, which is control of the breath, which ultimately is controlling the mind. Just by elongating the exhales, you can downshift your nervous system, take yourself out of a flight or fight mode, and put yourself in a little bit more state of like coherence, a little bit more relaxed state. So then you can respond to a situation as opposed to react. And then today, the fifth limb of yoga is Pratyahara. And Pratyahara means withdrawal of the senses. And it's not about turning them off. It's not about ignoring the sensations or the experience that you're having. It's about creating a pause between you and the sense, whether that's physical, mental, hearing, scent, whatever the five senses. It's just creating this pause in between you and that. And why I'm so excited about this is because this is where we really start to kind of put everything that we've been working on together. It's drawing all of those little things and creating this little package right now, which is only going to take us deeper. We still have 3 more limbs. So withdrawal of the senses, to kind of sum it up, is, for example, in your first 2 limbs of yoga, you learned how or what really you're passionate about, what drives you, how you want to present yourself to the world. You worked through your asana practice, so now you're physically strong and you can physically sit comfortably for a period of time. You've mastered pranayama, so you know how to control your thoughts just by controlling your breath. And now here you are in a meditative seat, and you are practicing Pratyahara. And that's where you're here in this meditative seat, and you acknowledge that you feel a little discomfort in your knee, or you feel discomfort in your hip, but you've created this pause between you and the sensation. So at this point, you're becoming the witness, or you're in the role of the observer. And then after you sit with the sensation, then you can make a decision. Do I really need to move my knee right now? Or can I continue my meditation or whatever it is that you're doing without having to physically move? Same thing goes for your thoughts. When you're in meditation, and I'm only using meditation as an example because you can practice this in every aspect of your life, but when you're in meditation and you have a thought, because the thoughts will always be there, you can't turn them off, they will always be there. But when you're practicing Pratyahara, you're beginning to witness the thoughts, and you can say to yourself, I see that I'm thinking about my grocery list. Do I really need to come out of meditation and write down that I need black beans on my grocery list? And then you can because you've created this space, you've created this pause, then you can make the decision, no, I can do that later. And then the thought moves on and you continue with your meditation practice. Instead of having that like knee-jerk reaction, like, oh, black beans, let me write it down, you're just giving yourself space. And how this is such a great practice off of the mat is if you ever find yourself in conflict with somebody, whether you're having a disagreement or like a full-on argument, or you're really annoyed with a situation, instead of having that knee-jerk reaction to kind of say what you want to say to get your point across, you pause and you can witness the physical sensation that's happening in your body, the emotion that you're having in your body. You can witness your thoughts and then make the decision, do I really need to respond this way, or can I take a breath and respond differently? So that's Pratyahara in a nutshell. So when we move on to our mat today, how I want you to observe this limb is when we're in poses for longer periods of time, not just moving and flowing, but when we're holding a pose for 5 or 6 breaths, pause, and once you arrive in the pose physically and safely, take a moment and see if you can separate yourself from the pose. And instead of fidgeting your hands or adjusting your shirt or fixing your hair, can you just be and witness that your fun bun is a little lopsided and that your shirt is a little scrunched up, but it's really not interfering with the pose? Can you pause, create that space, witness those thoughts, and then make the decision if you need to actually act on it or not? So, Pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses.